facts that may be useful, and as resolutely forget all those impertinent to the true way of one's star in space. For so only can one economize the mnemonic faculty, and this is to say, no man can begin to train his memory duly until he is aware of his true will. There is then, as in all matters pertaining to the intellect, a vicious circle. For one can only become conscious of one's true will by a judgment of somatic intensity. Upon all facts that it is possible to assimilate, the resolution of the antimony is found ambulando, that is, by the selective training above indicated. A further complication of this whole question appears during the practice of yoga, when the sheaths being successively stripped from the mind at will, one begins to remember not only long forgotten facts, but matters which do not refer to the incarnated ego at all. The memory extends in time to infancy, to one's previous death, and so further to an unlimited series of experiences whose scope depends on the degree of one's progress. But parallel with this intensification of the idea of the ego, its expansion through the eons, there arises, in consequence of the weakening of the ahamkara, the ego-making faculty, a tendency to remember things which have happened not to oneself, but to other people or beings. Herein is one of the most irritating obstacles in the path of the wise, for the normal development of the memory in time leads to a better understanding of the true will of the individual, as he then conceives of himself, so that he perceives a universe teleologically more rational as he progresses. To be compelled to assimilate the experiences of supposed alien beings is to become confused, the old hotchpot of Coronson. Restriction be unto him in the name of Babylon. Gapes once more for the adept, who possibly supposed himself already in a sense a freeman of the city of the pyramids. But it is just this experience, in default of any other, which eventually insists on his undertaking to cross the abyss. For the alternative to sheer insanity is seen to be the discovery of a general formula, comprehensive of universal experience, without reference to the ego, real or supposed in any sense. This paradox, like all others, should be a lesson of supreme value. This, that every difficulty is for our vantage, that every question is posed only in order to lead us to an answer involving a triumph infinitely more glorious than we could otherwise have conceived. And meditation upon this whole matter may not unlikely bring us to this further vision of wonder, that the nature of things themselves is in reality but a function of memory. Sorrow. The aspiration to become a master is rooted in the trance of sorrow. This trance is not simple and definite. Indeed, it commonly begins in a limited selfish form. The imagination cannot pierce beyond terrestrial conditions, or the sense of self grasp more than the natural consciousness. One thinks at first no more than this: there is nothing possible that is good enough for me. Only as one grows by initiation does one approach the asymptote, sabe pi dukkam of the Buddha, when the relations of subject and object, both expanded to infinity, are seen to be no less in the bosom of the great curse than were their first avatars. And meditation upon this whole matter may not Only as one grows by initiation does one approach the asymptote, sabe pi dukkam, of the Buddha, when the relations of subject and object, both expanded to infinity, are seen to be no less in the bosom of the great curse than were their first avatars, the petty ego, in the perceptible universe. So also for the transcending of this trance of sorrow,